It's 1964, and the BBC, or Auntie Beeb as she was known, is already 45 years old. So far, she's given birth to one televisual child. And on April the 20th of that year, she was to find herself once again in labour.
Do come on, Auntie Beeb. Stop making a fuss and push.
The child was on its way, but what was it to be called?
We have one television channel. Tonight, we launch a second. What on earth are we going to call it? Pipes in, pencils out.
I've calculated that if we do indeed have two channels, then the current channel, BBC Television, should be known as BBC One.
I've checked your calculations and they're correct.
If the current channel equals BBC One, what does the new channel add up to?
X to the power of minus 13. This new channel should be called BBC X to the power of minus 13. You blundered in your reduction of this fraction, you horrid little homosexual. X to the power of minus 13 cancelled out is 2. BBC 2.
Can't we call it BBC Stalin?
Are you a communist?
This is the BBC. We're all communists, aren't we?
Shh. So we're all agreed. BBC 2.
That's better.
2.
Cup of tea?
The new channel has a name. All it needs now is someone to run it. A king or queen, a czar, a Führer, a fat controller. There was only one man for the job, and his name was Porky Peacock. And Porky Peacock knew exactly what Porky Peacock wanted. Long documentaries about the First World War that went on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
By the winter of 1914, the war on the Western Front had reached stalemate. From Switzerland to the sea, British and German forces faced each other in a deadly battle of attrition that was to last for the next 4 years, except for one day. December the 25th, 1914, Christmas Day.
And right opposite us there's a rubbly old nunk. And Jerry dug in fast. Come during a Christmas Day, I'll be pops a bowl of brass. He's standing there, right on top of the rubbly old nunk, knowing proper flabbergasted. So we are stuck in the trenches with all the mud and fizz bangs going off left, right and centre. It was jolly wet and noisy.
We hear Jerry singing this Christmas carol, so we do now. And it's a good Protestant carol, so it is now. These Jerrys are Hanoverians, so they are now. They're the people of King Billy, so they are now. So we join in now, so we join in, so we do now, so we do.
And suddenly these shapes came over the top, and they were short and brutish and are wearing skirts. We recognize them as Highlanders.
We're standing there in no man's land, and I've shown a picture to Fritz of our Martha, and his eyes have fairly popped out of his head, because she's big as a bus, our Martha. She's a whacking great whale of a woman.
We are chatting away to these German scallywags, and one of them is touching me on the face and hands. I don't think he'd ever seen a dusky fellow before.
We were so starved of the fair sex, and because these Highlanders wore skirts, I observed some of my men acquiring the trouser tents. This I wish to discourage, so I improvised a game of football.
Out of nowhere comes a football.
We started playing football, so we started playing football, so we did now, so we did.
They got to play the football game, right aside of rubbly old nunk. It was fundamentally like polo, but without the horses.
And the game ended in a 0-0 draw.
Well, it's a 1-1 at full time, a 1-1. A 3-3 draw.
5 goals apiece.
It ended 4-4, and thus it went to penalties.
And the Germans won on penalties.
The Germans won on penalties.
Fritz won on penalties.
And the Germans won on penalties.
And we Germans won on penalties.
The Germans won on penalties. Groundbreaking documentaries there might be, but Peacock also wanted his channel that was new to have news. And not just news, but news at night. Night news.
Is the government right about everything? Good evening. I'm Gerald Manley Paxman. Is the government right about everything? I'm joined by the government minister. Good evening, government minister.
Good evening, Gerald Manley.
Is the government right about everything?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Are you doubting me?
Not for a moment, and I do apologize if I appear to be. Please continue to speak for as long as you like without any interruption whatsoever.
The government is right about everything because it is a good government, composed of extremely intelligent, high-minded and deeply moral ministers.
Thank you, Minister. You're the most interesting man I've ever met. Time to look at tomorrow's papers. The Times leads with the government's right about everything. The Telegraph goes for the government is right about everything. And this rag leads with some complete poppycock.
The new channel was, like its elder sibling, to be funded by the license fee. Freed from the pressures of the marketplace, it was to be very much BBC TOO, BBC Two. But it still wanted to compete with commercial ITV, and compete it did dramatically.
Well, the Forsyte saga was actually, to tell you the truth, I don't remember a great deal about it, but I was there. I'd had the wonderful idea of shooting the whole thing on a single camera with no editor. Now, I got the idea from drinking 3 bottles of wine one lunchtime at the BBC bar. Television history.
Father.
Ah, Julia, come in and sit quite close to me. A little closer, my dear.
I'm worried. You work so hard, Father. What are these?
Important documents for the attention of your cousin Julius, who will attend to them at 10.
I'm attentive to his attentions to myself, Father.
Pay no attention. His attentions are tentative.
Good day, Jolyon. Ah, Cousin Julia.
Cousin Julius, you are well?
Indeed. Do you like my mop top?
I do.
I trust I am the only man in the 1890s with such a hairdo.
Won't you sit down?
No, thank you. I won't be in shot.
Cousin, I've tendered these documents for your attention.
I beg your pardon, Cousin Jolyon. Could you repeat that?
Attend to these documents that I've tendered. They relate to a trust fund, which I've set up for the benefit of any future children you might have, should you one day choose marriage.
Marriage?
May I come in?
Why, of course.
Oh, worried I am. Very, very worried about everything. All I can do is worry, and I fear I shall die of worrying. Worry, 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 endless days and nights of worry. I worry.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Peacock wanted laughter on his channel, and not just laughter, but laughter from somewhere that hitherto no one at the BBC had ever dreamt there was laughter. Somewhere full of dread, dirt and depravity. The North.
Hey, Terry, what you done to me bike?
I've bumped into a bus and busted, Bob. I'm very sorry. You'll get your money.
Oh, blooming Nora. Not supposed to be meeting Thelma at Pictures in half hour.
You gonna hold a hand?
I've only known her 8 months.
I reckon she'd love it.
Hey, Terry, wash your mouth out with carbolic, why don't you?
Hey.
It was a wonderful show, absolutely super. It was one of those shows that was wonderful and super at the same time. Absolutely wonderful and totally super.
Wonderful and super perhaps, but Southerners couldn't understand the Northern accents. And as for Northerners, well, this was 1964. They'd only just learnt how to use a lavatory. Education was still a Northerner's dream. ITV, yes. BBC Two. Ebargum, no. And this is a problem. Peacock appeared more Lord Reith than Lady Gaga. And this was the 60s, the generation of the baby boomers, or baby Gagas.
Young people had been invented in 1957 by Mr. Elvis Presley, and here we were a decade later with only one programme for them, and that was Keep Still.
Keep Still ran for 8 hours a day, every day of the week.
One had to sit very still. If one moved at all, well... The clown was absolutely terrifying. He could talk without moving his mouth.
Charlie's gonna eat your face off.
Keep Still was the end for Peacock. He was booted upstairs to BBC One. His replacement, David Attenborough. And for Attenborough, it was hello, good evening, and well, I'm here, let's get on with the job. Out went night news, in came naughty nighty news.
Is corporal punishment outdated? Should it be abolished in our schools? Hugh Parsley.
Well, John, I believe it to be a demeaning form of punishment.
So, Hubert Tuft, if I were naughty, would you cane me?
I would.
You have to remember it was the 60s. We were all feeling frisky all the time.
Is sex a good thing? Edward Rees-Spoon.
I hate sex, and so does my wife.
It's horrible and stupid.
How about you, Donald Hairwave?
I rather like sex.
So do I.
I'd like to have sex with you.
So would I.
It's the mid-60s, and television is about to get ugly.
And your start of a 10, what is the theme tune to this show? Gruesome College, Cambridge.
Bing dong dong.
Very ugly.
Welcome to Ask the Ugly Family. This week we say hello to our ugly family from Leicester. Hello?
Hello.
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 And dare I say it, our even uglier family from Norfolk.
Hello.
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 BBC Two wanted a slice of the ugly action.
Hello. I'm Professor Bill Borderline Spectrum.
And I'm Dr. Fiona Firmly Spectrum.
Today, we are going to be looking at one of the most exciting things in the world. Kinetic energies and electroweak interactions of pheromones.
Or, as we prefer to say, L bar gamma to the mu times the quantity I delta sub mu minus 1/2 g tau dot w sub mu minus 1/2 g prime yb sub mu times L plus R bar gamma to the mu times the quantity I delta sub mu minus 1/2 g prime yb sub mu times R.
Sport. I like sport. Running and jumping, I'm a physical sort. But Attenborough wasn't. He liked sport. He liked sport. But of the sitting around, drinking beer and smoking fag sort. Snooker. But snooker came with a problem that almost snookered BBC Two.
And in goes the darkish grey ball, nicely into the centre pocket. So here's the choice. The lightish grey ball into the bottom corner, or the darker light grey ball into the centre. Darker light grey ball into centre, narrowly missing the lighter darker light grey ball.
For Attenborough, it couldn't carry on. On July the 1st, 1967, BBC Two got colourful. And so did snooker.
Ray Spencer reacts by rubbing his upper lip. What a colourful character. What a tremendous personality. Now he's chuckled. Here comes the hurricane. Will it
be the yellow or the brown. He's gone for them both. Oops. What's he going to do with the white? Up it goes. What a super hit. What a great sequence of shots.
Colour television brought with it endless possibilities for grand documentaries, and there was none more grand than Jacob Bronowski's epic series, The Pottering About of Man.
I'm rather a long way away from you. Now I am much closer. Now you can observe with clarity the riot of beige, which is my jacket, shirt, and tie. Now I am on top of this hillock. How did I get here? It's a mystery. Now I am much, much closer, almost too close for comfort.
When one thinks of David Attenborough, one thinks of animals dying. Buffalo, zebras, pythons, and Monty Pythons. After 3 series on BBC One, Attenborough brought them to his channel to bear witness to their televisual death throes.
Hello. I'd like to buy one, please. Oh, I'm very sorry we haven't got any. Now, look here, miss. Is this going to be a very long sketch? Oh, yes.
You see, I'd already been to see the BBC Two people, and I said I'm not going to do any more Monty Python, and because I'm much, much funnier than all the others and much, much more popular, you better cancel it. And they said, John, we disagree. I mean, the arrogance of these people.
So, just how long is this sketch going to be, then? Very long indeed. I think when it's eventually ended, we'll continue to reprise it throughout the rest of the show. Oh, cool. Before reviving it every decade for the next half-century. Oh, cool. When it is definitely past its sell-by date. Oh, cool. When it is a dead sketch. Oh, cool. When it is pushing up daisies. Oh, cool. No, sorry, I like that bit. Do carry on. When it has shuffled off this mortal coil. Oh, that was brilliant. When it has run down the curtain and joined the choir invisible. I never wanted to do this in the first place. I wanted to be a travel show presenter.
It was the end of Python. Palin wanted to travel the world.
Oh, put on a linen clothing and hang around in bazaars.
Hang around in bazaars?
John Cheeshop's sketch yearned for more sophisticated comedy.
Come here, you stupid racial stereotype. I'm from Barcelona. I know nothing. Sorry about that.
And the only female Python, Sherry Jones,
Gonna bash your brains out!
had a sex change and became a man.
They put these testicles where my vagina used to be, and rather small cock.
It's the 1970s, and time for the new channel to get serious, dramatically serious, about drama.
I remember very, very clearly that I was pissed the whole time. Don't remember anything. But I was there.
As I commissioned a high-quality classical piece, and for that I required the best classical lecturers in the country. And I saw Ian McKellen, he was a lovely boy, but he just wasn't right. And I saw Alan Rickman, and he was a lovely, lovely boy, but he just wasn't right. And I saw Derek Jacobi, and I thought, what a lovely boy. Lovely, lovely, lovely boy.
We had this wonderful chap playing Caesar. What was his name again? Lionel Lovely, it was Simon Super. No, Brian Blessed. I was there.
The result of this collaboration?
One Clavdivs.
One Clavdivs?
One Clavdivs.
Rome was fast falling into parlousness. All men were acting their sandals off, yet still they introduced all manner of actory business.
I do like your eye makeup, my dear Empress Mark Boliner.
It is predicted by the high priests of Jupiter that one day all girls shall have makeup like this in the 1970s, on top of the pups.
It suits you merrily, merrily.
Father, I come to warn you of my brother, BAFTA's nomination.
Now, I will not hear of it. BAFTA's nomination is a fine boy.
trained by Rardus in all things flourishing.
My brother schemes behind your back. He will poison you and put me to the slaughter and claim Rome as his own.
Oh, calm down, Actus Tremendous.
He is in league with my sister. What a scorcher.
Do not hate What a Scorcher. She is indeed your sister. Go to her bed and make love to her.
That I shall. And presently shall I tear our unborn fetus from her womb and eat it in bloody fashion.
Oh, he's a very odd boy.
There is a delegation from Palestine to see you, Caesar, from a new religion called the Christians.
Show them in.
Blessed be the Brian, for he hath a loud and warming voice.
Yes, yes, I'm very pleased with you. I will give you lands. Where is my governor of Palestine, Pontius Pilates?
Oh, yes, I'm just finishing a class. Cat stretch, girls. Oh, yes, oh, I can smell it from here.
He's also a very odd boy.
Ooh.
One Clavdivs was hugely popular, but was that what BBC Two was really about? Shouldn't BBC Two be just a bit boring?
Well, the BBC music department was very powerful. The music industry had to take us very seriously. And so when they came to us and said, can we have a vibrant, happening, groovy show for BBC Two, I said, no. I want something dull. My highlight was when the lead guitarist of the prog rock group Eon died on stage of boredom. And by the time the drummer had pretty much finished his solo, the guitarist had completely decomposed.
It was one of those shows that was wonderful and super at the same time. Absolutely wonderful and totally super.
As the 70s wore on, rumours of a culture of sexual depravity at Television Centre began to circulate. It was decided to tackle this potential time bomb head-on primetime BBC Two.
Hello and welcome to a show which could quite easily be called Would I Lie to You? Will soon be known as Call My Bluff and is currently entitled Speech Impediment, and we like it that way. And our first word is paedophile. Frank, what is a paedophile?
Well, a paedophile.
Frank thinks it's a type of chocolate bar made of nuts and fruit. Is he right, Patrick?
Toes.
Patrick says it's a type of instrument for scraping the dead skin off your feet. Derek? Or is it, as Derek suggests, a ceremonial dress worn by German women on Maundy Thursday? And the answer is... well, you're all wrong, because there's no such thing as a paedophile.
Britain was changing. There was strife, unemployment, and nationwide grumpiness. And BBC Two drama was to reflect the new Puritanism.
I wanted to make a drama about the poor, darling northern working classes who've been thrown onto the dole by Margaret Thatcher. And I couldn't find a single person from Oxford or Cambridge in the BBC bar who was prepared to write it. Man Alive happened to be making a documentary at the time about how marvellous I was, which I'd commissioned, when this chap burst into my office.
All right, mate. Hey, go on, give us a job, mate. I can write that drama. Go on, give us a job, mate. Give us a job.
Were you at Oxford or Cambridge?
He was a funny, angry little creature. I rather liked him. He was a lovely boy.
I'm nothing, Beryl. My life is nothing. Oh, yeah, great joke, God. Here's Michael, he's nothing.
You've done your best, Michael. What more can you do? Nothing.
Me best's none. When I'm dead, you know what me gravestone's going to say? Here lies none. Dust to dust, None to none. And you know why, Beryl? You want to know why?
Sir Michael!
Because I haven't got a catchphrase. And without a catchphrase, you're nothing in Maggie Thatcher's broken Britain.
What you doing, Michael? Sitting on the settee, eh? I could do that. Gives you a job sitting on the settee, eh?
Hey, not now, Yosse.
Gives you a job, Beryl.
All right, Yosse, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
All right, calm down.
Hey, calm down.
All right.
Boys from the Blackstuff was the right stuff for the viewer, but the wrong stuff for the Conservative government. It was furious. Its anger was vented by a young MP called John Major.
The British people don't want programmes like this. They want programmes without bias. They want fairness. They want to say, we want our old BBC back, and we want it now.
It's not want you complete rhymes with want. The BBC was being crucified. It agreed to make a drama that would balance Boys from the Blackstuff. But who would write it?
I could do that. Give us a job, go on.
Hey, all right, Michael.
Hello, Yosse. What are you doing on that thing?
I got on my bike and started looking for work like Norman Tebbit told us to.
He's a top man, that Tebbit.
Tories, Tories, Tories! 5 more years! Hey, have you seen Sid?
I have. He told me the good old Tories and Maggie Thatcher are privatising British gas.
I fucking love the Tories.
I've gone and got myself some shares.
Giz a hob. Come on, giz a hob, eh?
All right, calm
Hey,
down.
come on, giz a hob, eh?
I think BBC Two had an ambivalence towards Mrs. Thatcher. Sometimes it found her frustrating and sometimes quite sexy.
And I said to
Tonight on 40 Minutes, Margaret Thatcher, is she sexy?
Good morning, John. Goose fat. And he said, I know, madam.
Margaret was never the easiest person to get on with in Cabinet, but there was something about her.
We remember Geoffrey coming to see us one day with a policy that we didn't much care for.
And I said, please, Margaret.
And we said, no, Geoffrey, no.
She was a very sexy woman. I remember going to her.
And we remember Nigel came to see us, and he said, you must, Prime Minister, I insist.
I was very insistent.
And we said, no, Nigel, no.
I said, Margaret, please.
And we said, no, Geoffrey, no.
I said, Margaret, please listen.
And we said, no, Nigel, we will not listen.
I said, Margaret, I'm pleading with you on bended knee, you mad,
power-crazed bint. And we said, no, Geoffrey, no.
I said, Margaret, just listen for 1 minute, you completely...
deranged old boot.
I said, Margaret.
We said, no, Nigel, no. Bad dog, Nigel. No, no, no. You bad dog.
And I found myself on all fours in front of her, and she literally trampled me on foot.
And we remember very clearly that Nigel was very cross.
It was really quite erotic.
But life under the Tories wasn't all doom and gloom. There was also fun to be had.
You ask him what he's doing. Give it that.
I'd like to buy a dead parrot, please.
I don't want to be a shopkeeper. I want to be a travel host.
Comedy is an incredibly serious business. Anyone who tells you otherwise simply isn't taking it seriously enough. Rowan Atkinson's probably the most serious person who's ever been born, ergo he's the funniest.
Lump.
I think it's fair to say that every single word that Rowan says is funny.
Hooligan. Nubble. Waste paper basket.
I put Rowan together with the cleverest man in the world, Stephen Fry. Stephen, of course, invented adult humour.
Thumb chums and willy biscuits. Ladies' wee-wees and poo-poos. Gentlemen's diarrhea.
So, we did a pilot of Blackadder for BBC Two. It was just dynamite.
Button up your body hole, Blackadder. Here comes the new king.
Top living roars, Blackadder.
Congratulations on being crowned King Edward VIII. King Edward VIII.
It's my new totty, Mrs. Simpson. She's a blooming Yank.
I'm gonna be Queen of England.
Untrouseringly good news, eh, Blackadder?
Although personally, I'd prefer Bertram Russell's bloated, boil-faced brother became betrothed to your royal bigness.
Gee whiz, and Perry!
Have you met my new Prime Minister, Sir Stanley Baldrick?
Hello, Blackadder.
Bloody hell.
Butty-boiled bastard! Ah, General Disaster. What news, General Disaster?
Bad news, I'm afraid, Lord Melchett. One, I've cut my finger.
You bloody disaster!
And two, Hitler has invaded the Rhineland.
Top bloody hurrahs and all that.
Hey!
Bum.
All the dashing big buggerburbs, Blackadder.
It was a wonderful show. Absolutely super. It was one of those shows that was wonderful and super at the same time. Absolutely wonderful and totally super.
Historical comedy there might be, but there was also room for history to be dramatic.
It's snowing again. It's always snowing in Moscow at this time of year. I can see Comrade Milenkova down by the statue of me. She's a widow, Comrade Milenkova. Her husband died of natural causes, which is not at all natural in Moscow at the moment, if you get me drift. I can't seem to stop having people bumped off. I call it me urge to purge. Here comes trouble. Comrade Jim Broadbentovich.
Hello, Stalin.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Yep.
How's the 5-year plan going?
I'm afraid it's failed, so I suppose that's curtains for me.
Well, you can have these ones if you like.
Very kind of you.
I thought I might go for chinks. It's nice and cheery. What do you think?
They're brightened the place up a bit, weren't they, Stalin?
I'm having him shot later. It's a shame, really. He's a nice man.
Now history began to happen before our very eyes. The Cold War ended. The wall came down, and for BBC Two, trouble was brewing in not 1, 2, 3, but 4 form. The new channel was young, anti-establishment, and it wanted to shaft BBC Two up the arse. It was time to change or be buggered. And change came in the form of a new controller, and his name was Yentob.
I made the Citizen King.
Orson, Yentob, Orson, friend.
Yentob may have had an arts background, but he could see that Channel 4 was dumbing down fast, and he wanted a piece of the action. He needed a man with the skill to dumb down an entire channel, and he found him.
Albus Dumbledore.
Yentob, see salvation.
These red leather seats are really quite cosseting.
Be vulgar, Jeremy. Be Mockney.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm in a vagina. I'm a dildo! Yentl brought his ghastly new head of comedy, Paul someone. He was a horrid little man.
I didn't want all that elitist Oxbridge crap. I wanted alternative comedy, edgy comedy full of edge and edginess by ordinary working-class, middle-class people who'd failed to get into Oxbridge.
Oh, shut up, Neil.
Where's Mike?
Hey, it's cool out there, and so am I.
Somebody hit someone, for God's sake.
And it was all edgy comedy then. Just edge. No side, no top, no bottom, no back, no front, just edge, edge, edge.
Would you like to suck my lollipop?
Oh, you are awful, but I like you, young man. Young man.
Yentop was successful in his quest to beat Channel 4 on its own moronic game. But he was uneasy, agitated, distressed.
Yentop unhappy. High culture, he claimed.
And who from the world of high culture, exiled to America and rejected there, was as alienated as Yentop?
Mr. Potter. Yes. Only Mr. Potter can make Yentop happy. Yes. Yes.
He's the one. Yes, him. I choose him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do beg your pardon. Oh, I say, how are you?
Do I?
Yes, last week, you remember?
Yes, of course.
And now it's today. So you must be on your way too?
The rehearsals.
Yes, for the play, isn't it?
The television play.
Yes, the one that I wrote. I'll come with you. Come along. Are we still rehearsing in the...
The hospital? Yes.
Yes.
Stop it! What are you doing? What are you doing to our Mary?
I saw something. Something in the woods. Our Mary Whitehouse being porked.
Right in her Forest of Dean. Look at your face.
I've got cornflake eczema.
And I've got Rice Krispie psoriasis.
What's to be done?
Maybe we could do something weird, like mime along to an old song.
Good morning, Skin Game. Holland Skin Game, please, ladies. Good morning, Skin Game. Holland Skin Game, please, ladies. I done stake my main to win, and I hope my money will pay.
Well, that didn't work, did it, Potter?
Maybe my nephew can help.
Skin complaintus, disappearus.
Is he simple?
There's something mouldy on your foot.
It's a wart.
That is the lord of all mouldy warts.
Lord Mouldy-Wart killed my parents.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Will my career come to this?
You sold your soul, Michael.
Right, Mr. Sing Song. It's time for me to grease up your winky.
Oh, God.
I had absolutely no idea what was going on at the time, but it was bloody marvellous.
Yentop had done all he could for the channel. It was time for him to move on. The new controller was his disciple, Michael Jackson.
What kind of programs do you want to commission?
What about current affairs?
I want a sketch show that's very, very fast.
This week, I have been mostly in Harry Potter.
The trouble with you is, you can't act. I'll get my cloak.
Harry Emery.
Enfield.
Same thing. Why weren't you in the Fast Show?
Oh, well,
Paul Whitehouse and Charlie Hickson were in your show. Why weren't you in theirs?
I didn't really want to be, so...
Did they ever ask you?
No.
Were you disappointed by the lack of BAFTAs that your show got?
Not at all. No, I never really think about awards.
And the Fast Show got how many?
I've no idea. 4.
4? And your show got...
None.
Does that bother you? Fast Show 4, your show, Harry Enfield and Chums. You changed the name, Harry Enfield's television programme, still no awards.
Honestly, not a problem.
No bitterness.
None whatsoever. I'm extremely proud of my show.
BAFTA wasn't. Great to speak to you.
There were storm clouds brewing. A new man had taken charge of the whole BBC, and his name was Bert. Bert John.
I mean, Bert John wasn't really a BBC man at all. I mean, he gathered us together and gave some funny little speech about something called value for money. I didn't really understand a word, you know, but I was there. It seemed to mean getting rid of the subsidy in the BBC bar, and I was very much there. But it's very difficult, you know, to come up with wonderful ideas that the nation will take completely to their hearts unless one's somewhat docile. No, Bert John was a total cunt.
He brought in a woman to run BBC Two.
That woman was Jane Brute, and she wanted women.
I wanted Robert Robinson to front the new quiz show, but the woman in charge wanted a woman, so we used Robert's daughter.
Welcome to Is Your Child an Idiot? Tonight, who is our idiot? Is it you, Susan? Or is it Andrew? Or perhaps it's Simon? Or quite possibly Sally? What is the Latin name of the rice-field rat?
Ratus Argent Venta.
What was the name of the general who led the Anzac troops in the First World War?
William Birchwood.
RMS Lusitania, torpedoed and sunk by the Germans in 1915, was designed by who?
Leonard Petrik Bank.
Who was the Secretary General of the Hungarian Communist Government from 1949 to 1956?
Enver Hoxha.
Oops. Oh dear. And at the end of that round, Sally, you think Hungary and Albania are the same, do you? The Hungarian dictator was?
Matyas Rikushi.
Knowing the answer now doesn't make you any less of a moronic buffoon, any less of a cretinous dolt. Sally, you are an idiot. Goodbye.
A new decade dawned with comedy, with Dawn.
Katanga. I like shagging dead people. Don't like shagging because they're dead, yeah?
I like shagging dead people.
Look from Dorn.
Joke. I most certainly do not like shagging dead people, obviously. Only done it once. It was impersonal.
Look from Hobbit. Dorn. Hobbit.
As the noughties dragged on, a new threat loomed: recession. Money was tight. It was time for BBC Two to make programmes about nothing at all.
Grumpy old bores are minor celebrities with absolutely nothing interesting to say about how there's too much plastic packaging.
I find plastic packaging terribly difficult to open.
You always have to pop all the bubbles on bubble wrap. It's quite addictive.
I mean, what's going on? You got to buy a cucumber and it's covered in a condom.
And you end up slashing at the plastic packaging with a knife and you cut your bleeding finger.
Well, sometimes it takes my servants hours to get the packaging off the many important things that arrive for me every day, which makes me quite grumpy.
I mean, all this plastic packaging is a pain in the arse, isn't it?
Grumpy old bores will say obvious things about anything for the money. Now talk about reading glasses.
They make you look like you got 4 eyes. What's wrong with contact lenses?
Contact lenses.
They're so hard to get in your eyes. Laser surgery's the thing.
And just when you've had enough of grumpy old bores, they bring on grumpy old bags.
I mean, why do we even need this World Wide Web anyway?
And they won't even take money on the buses anymore. You have to have a scallop card, is it? And my grandson, he's always messing
If
around.
BBC Two was hitting the depths, it didn't want you to think so. In came a late-night arts show. It was to be more of a pseudo-intellectual snack than a delicious Donish dinner. It was dark, bitter, and thinly spread. Smarm night.
Hello, I'm Mark Egghead. This week, the X Factor. Simon Cowell et al. David Ponce.
Well, I've never let the X Factor. I've never Simon Cowell, and I've said he never Louis Walsh.
Yeah, it's a solid
Please, let me finish, and I hope that I'm spared any more of this lamentable
Well, the minor, it's...
Paul Pauling.
Betrayal, working class, red and dripping, Ian Curtis,
Tom Appalling.
Well, I rather liked it.
But surely Sharon Osbourne and Louis Walsh.
BBC Two was fast running out of viewers and money. To solve this problem would take all the brainiest brains of the BBC's brightest brains.
This channel needs stars. Stars cost money. We need stars that don't cost money. Pipes in, pencils out.
I have the solution. Ordinary people.
Psst. Are you still a communist?
No.
Nor am I.
I still am. That's because you're a horrid little homosexual.
Gentlemen, I have calculated that a famous person plus money equals a star.
I've checked your calculation. It's correct.
I have also calculated that a star is greater than an ordinary person. If you take away money, you have to cancel out the star. But you're left with a famous person who is greater than an ordinary person.
I'm better than you.
Yes, Lord Sugar.
And I'm better than you.
Yes, Lord Sugar.
Look at my watch. Have you got a watch as nice as this one? I don't think so. I'm better than you.
Yes, Lord Sugar.
You haven't even got a watch. I'm better than you.
Yes, Lord Sugar.
I earn more money every year than you'll earn in your lives. Because I'm better than you.
Yes, Lord Sugar.
And I'm better than you.
In due respect, Lord Sugar, I feel in my gut of guts that I could be nearly as good as you, but she's holding me back.
Oh, do you now? Well, let me tell you, sonny Jim boy with a lot of glue in your hair, you'll never be as good as me, 'cause I'm better than you.
Yes, Lord Sugar.
And I'm better than you.
Oh, yes, Lord Sugar.
Now get out.
Thank you very much, Lord Sugar.
Simon is cooking for 3 very important people. They're better chefs than Simon. They're better people than Simon. They're all better than him.
You've got 5 minutes, Simon, and the clock's ticking.
Which means you've only got 2 minutes.
Time's money to them, Simon, and you've got just 4 minutes or 75 pence.
Don't keep them waiting. They're better than you.
You got 90 seconds left, Simon, and that's less than 10 minutes.
This is no time to panic, mate, but hurry up! Simon's got to give this meal 100%, and if he doesn't, phew!
And I'm in a different room to you. What do you think his chances are?
Exactly! And I'm yellower than you.
They do look absolutely marvellous. Not a hint of a soggy bottom. What a clever little ordinary person you are. Wouldn't I make a wonderful queen?
And I'm better than you. 50 years ago, this cathedral of programme making brought joy to the great unwashed.
I like television. I like Bruce Forsyth.
I like Doctor Who.
I like Coronation Street.
How different television looks today.
I like Bruce Forsyth.
I like Doctor Who.
I like Coronation Street.
BBC Two's contribution has been immeasurable.
I think the best show was entirely my idea, made up entirely of live bands, presented by Jools Holland, and I cannot understand why it didn't work.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to Earlier with me, Jools Holland, the only breakfast show, of course, with all live bands. And what a treat! Jeff Beck. Jeff, perhaps if I could prod you awake, little poke there. No, but never mind, because in reserve it's klaxons. That's right. And no definite signs of life, but never mind. It's live TV. We move on. Round here in a great suite reminiscent of the Mississippi, of course, the Mississippi Delta, birthplace of the blues too. The wonderful, charming, and wide awake Damon Albarn.
Go away.
I'll keep that thought uppermost in my mind, and as I come round here, I can see in the gloom a friend of the show over in the corner of the studio, Roland Riveron. But first, we must traverse the sleeping Chrissy Hind, ladies and gentlemen. Shh. So I'm going to move here. Come along, and a joy of joys. Who's this here? It's Roland Riveron, ladies and gentlemen.
Hootenanny.
Yeah, and that, yes. And I see that you've brought your dog, Rover Riveron. Rover Riveron, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what type of dog is Rover Riveron, Roland Riveron?
It's a Yorkshire Terrier, Jules.
Well, that is quite fascinating and really much more reminiscent of breakfast television. Thank you very much.
I think in drama, I'm most excited about our new Scandinavian series, The Director of the Killing.
I'm som en pingu, men så är som...
Har väl laven där tack och lov för den där pingu. Tack till havens pingu.
Ja, men sen är Stalin sånt men alla är pingu,
Bella bäten bara hasen bedärpet tack.
Men det sa att de som känner är sån en till en fukt upp nu.
Tässä poppikko.
Hi, Pingu.
Tack till hur hart pingu. Lägger merchant hart den där pingu.
Då har jag med mig hem. Då har jag med mig hem med mig.
I think in comedy, the cheapest show, I mean the best show, has to be Panel Show.
Hello and welcome to Panel Show. This week I'm going to be sacked for shagging about.
And replaced by me. Ian, for whom did everything go wrong this week?
The government? Is it Boris Johnson, tousle-haired shagger?
Boyish Koinuk.
I love Poundland and potatoes and I have periods.
Rude word.
I think what actually happened was the government...
Is it a dolphin in a bathtub?
Wasn't it total cock-up, the government? And the interesting thing about the government is it has 428 on each tentacle, which allows it to eat its own regurgitated sick. Alan, look like an overripe strawberry.
What did Ed Miliband this week?
Ed Miliband, total cock-up.
I think what actually happened was Ed Miliband bad misjudgment, which was amusing.
Is it a dolphin in a bathtub?
Russell, oh my God, the Daily Mail.
Oh my God, the Daily Mail. Oh my God, the Daily Mail.
Oh God, the Daily Mail.
Oh, my God, the Daily Mail!
Daily Mail Boris Johnson, a couple of slappers.
Boyish Koinuk.
I think what actually happened was the Daily Mail Boris Johnson...
Is it a dolphin in a bathtub?
Oh, my God, the Daily Mail, total Nazis. And the interesting thing about the Nazis is they actually won the Second World War, but it was changed in the film. Alan Strawberry.
The interesting thing about Nazis, there's no T in it. It should actually be pronounced Nazi.
Diddy Andy Hamilton, please sneer at Anne Widdecombe.
Anne Widdecombe.
Anne Widdecombe!
And the truth about Anne Widdecombe...
Is Anne Widdecombe a dolphin in a bathtub?
And the interesting thing about Anne Widdecombe is it's pronounced Anne Waddicombe in parts of Scotland and Anne Wickham in parts of Wickham.
And I spend me evenings cuddling me cushion, which is more fun than me boyfriend, and it hides me cake shelf.
Oh, my God, the Daily Mail!
Can we bully some old people now?
Number 1's an ugly ginge. Number 2's ugly and stupid. Number 3's ugly, stupid and mental. Number 4's an ugly, stupid, mental wanker. And number 5's an ugly, stupid, mental wanker paedophile.
Number 5's definitely a pedo.
A wonky-eyed wanker pedo. I'm going to throw a brick at him. Look, I've cut his head open.
It's number 5, the ugly, stupid, mental, wonky-eyed wanker paedophile.
Disapproving look.
Stop starting and start stopping.
Oh, my God, the Daily Mail!
Good night.
If BBC Two's past has been worth celebrating, what about the present?
Of course, what I'm really excited about is a brand new 26-part documentary we've just made to celebrate the centenary of the First World War.
December the 25th, 1914, Christmas Day.
I'm Published German, and right on top of the family old dog. And we are chatting about all this German scallywags.
In Province, they came off a football.
The game ended in 0-0 draw. And the Germans won on penalties.
The Germans won on penalties, so they won on penalties.
And the Germans won on penalties.
We Germans won on penalties.
The Germans won on penalties. I've got wandering hands. And in 50 years' time, with so many new channels, so many different new forms of media, will there be BBC Two? And if there is, will there be BBC Two too?
Johnny and I married a decade or so after he directed me in the show, and we still like to keep the spark alive for up to 8 hours a day.
Charlie's going to eat your face off.